Good morning. It's me, Pearl from Pearl in the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we're here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves. And we can see reflected back to us in our outside world, in our inner people, in our environment. And if we want to see changes and shifts in those things, then we must change and shift the energy within inside of ourselves. That is the only way we're going to be able to see the manifestations we desire come to us. We're going to see a whole lot of blockages outside and we're going to blame them. But we really have to look inside and see where we have limiting beliefs that are blocking us, where we have energetic blockages, etc., and fish them out. All right, we're going to start with Divine Feminine today because she had all but one card showing. Love that for her. The card that she kept from me is funny. Let's start with the top of the deck, overall forefront of the mind for this Divine Feminine this morning. The Ten of Wands in reverse. We're going to see this card again today. And over on Divine Masculine side. So again, we started off yesterday with Union. We're starting off today with the first card is a card that's already in Union. Now for Divine Feminine, the energy that she's feeling in regards to the Ten of Wands is, it's a card about burdens and responsibilities. And it looks like she probably is, it seems to be like she's taken stock of all the burdens and responsibilities that she has, that she's, the pressure, the struggles that she's been under. The primary source of burden in this case is a lack of communication, because the Wands cards are about passion and fire and vision and communicating those things. And so I think the biggest burden for her is this inability to receive a communication of some kind, or receive feedback for work that has been done or for the position that she's in. She's like waiting on some kind of communication, and this is a burden. She really, really wants to have this come to its completion, its fulfillment with that 10. But she's also resisting putting down this responsibility or this burden. Or there's someone who's resisting putting down this responsibility. There's also messages about sharing the load here, which always makes me think of the Lord of the Rings, when Sam is like, share the load. Why is there so much slow motion in that movie? Like, I loved those movies, and the first moment that someone pointed out to me the slow motion, like that every scene is slow motion, they've been destroyed. But yes, share the load. She needs help. There's like a feeling that she has all these responsibilities and she needs help, and she doesn't really have the ability to sort of delegate. The thing that's coming to my mind for my personal experience right now is like setting up everything for my record and having to pay everybody and feeling intimidated about being able to delegate what needs to happen financially. So there's burdens that could be financial. There's also likely emotional burdens, but she's doing well with them. So this is on her mind. All the things she needs to do, needing help to delegate them, this lack of communication, which is one of the burdens that's really, really bothering her, that she really wants to end this cycle or pattern with, and this feeling of fulfillment or completion, which we're kind of coming to that head or whatever. I just saw 4:33 when I looked at the timer. All right. The niggling thing in the back of her mind is the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands is often associated with twin flames because of the two wands. the literal 2 of Wands. And because it is also about a journey with an unknown destination, it's about having asked for something, in the case of twin flame union, made some kind of a soul contract, and then, not exactly knowing what's coming, but understanding that your path will be laid out as you enter into the 3 of Wands. Those pieces will fall into place. You'll see the ships come in, and your faith and your trust is restored, and you can celebrate in the 4 of Wands, which would be the progression in the Wands cards. So I think there are some in the collective who the underlying thing that's underlying all their thoughts and all their decisions is this twin flame journey. Definitely for some. For those of you who don't know what that is, or don't care, or don't apply that label, or don't feel that that's how you resonate with this, it is simply that you have asked for something and you have to trust that it's going to be given, but you don't know how or when or why or where. And so it's just sort of like this niggling thing underlying everything is you're like, yeah, I know I'm going to get it, but like, how, when, and where? All the time. And so it's just chafing at this unknown element, at this sense that you have this agreement with spirit of some kind, you have this thing, you have this mission of some kind, or you've requested something and you have to go on some kind of journey to receive it, and you don't know where or how or when, and so everything that happens, you're like, is this that? 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 So for those of you that aren't on that, I mean, and that is how the twin flame journey feels. But if you're not really resonating with that stupid terminology, and I don't fucking blame you, because every time I have to say it, I feel like an idiot, then just take it like that, which is that there's a feeling that you ask for something and a sense that you are going to get it, but enough of a fear that you keep questioning when, how, where, how, why, all that kind of stuff. Okay. The first thing on your mind is the spiritual fulfillment, the 10 of Cups. Yesterday, you had the 10 of, wow, can't talk, Pentacles. You had the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. And today, we've got the 10 of Cups in reverse. So it's the first thing on your mind. So first thing on your mind is spiritual fulfillment, and it's not upright. So there's a sense here that you may be, you're feeling like you're not quite in tune with it or in alignment with it. Maybe you feel like it's actually the opposite, and it's become like the main driving force, and you're pouring out all of your energy into spiritual fulfillment, and that's why we're seeing it in reverse, because it's all pouring out. And the reason why I think that might actually be the feeling of the card, which is less of a, I don't have my spiritual fulfillment or whatever, but more that this is the most important thing, and I'm really, it might be draining you a bit. It might be draining you a bit because it's taking a lot of your energy to like hold the space for this spiritual fulfillment. And I think maybe there's a little bit of an uncertainty about what it actually is. It's like you understood yesterday material fulfillment, and we discussed how in the headspace, Divine Feminine was really preparing to release attachment to outcome, which means that whatever that material fulfillment she used to think that she needed when she was a girl, now as she's matured into a queen, she has an understanding that she doesn't actually know what that material fulfillment is going to constitute, because the spiritual aspects of it were created when she was much more youthful. So what we might be looking at today is that, Divine Feminine kind of latching onto that message in the reading or energetically and being like, what is in my spiritual fulfillment? What is the essence of it? Maybe she's not really quite sure. And so she's trying to like understand a little bit more what will truly fulfill her. There's also for some a sense that they have accomplished spiritual fulfillment. And And that is leading them to this next stage, which is this Queen of Cups. So this is a divine feminine that is very comfortable navigating in her emotions. She will not drown. She's kind, compassionate, she's loving, she's caring, she's sensitive, she's psychic, and she's spiritually fulfilled. The Queen of Cups has the Ace of Cups, and she offers it openly. She gives it freely. It's always overflowing, and she's very in tune and in alignment. So it's possible too that 10 of Cups in reverse is we have achieved spiritual fulfillment. Maybe there's a little bit of a surprise about it because there wasn't a clear understanding of what it truly meant. But she has a sense that she really is embodying this energy of this Queen of Cups right now, fully in her heart space and able to be generous and loving, compassionate. This was the card she kept hidden from me, which is the Emperor. And so it's interesting because her spiritual fulfillment is followed by the Queen of Cups, not by the Emperor. So we see that she's starting to understand that the divine feminine fulfillment in her heart is more important than if this card had appeared directly after or directly below, because the card below the 10 of Cups is not a masculine energy either. So we're seeing her spiritual fulfillment she's knowing coming from herself. This realization is making her empowered, which is putting her in this Emperor energy. I mean, I wore red today, you know, like she's feeling that kind of root chakra like foundation in love and in finances. She's really feeling like she has command of the spiritual, command of the emotional, and command of the material in her own world. And because she knows that when you start to have that sense of your own power inside of yourself, I just got to lord it over my ex-husband the other night, and I was super in my Emperor energy. And he's an Aries with a Taurus moon, I think. And I can't remember what rising, but like nothing good. And like stubborn, and unbending and unrelenting. And I, for the first time, honestly, since I have known that man, I had the upper hand in the conversation. I wasn't emotionally manipulative. I was a little sassy. I was sassy, but I wasn't emotionally manipulative. I didn't rely on like crying or, you know, sometimes I will just get like insanely angry and be like crazy. I was like level-headed. I had like this look on my face. I was amused at his machinations. And I called him out. And because I called him out, he didn't follow through. So I really felt in this energy, this balance between my heart, which was like my protective mothering energy in the situation, and also not wanting to do or say anything because my son was present. So I had to keep the conversation factual and specific. But having that sensitivity, but also having the power, because there was nothing he could say to me. And his response was the greatest moment of my life because there was nothing he could say to it. So there's divine feminines in this collective that are really feeling their own balance of feminine to masculine energy. And it's interesting because we didn't see the Empress here, not because she's not in her Empress energy, but she's in her Emperor energy. Her masculine worth energy is through the roof. But we saw the Queen of Cups here because she's the queen of the heart, right? That she's the most feminine energy in terms of the queen. So very balanced here. What does that mean when we're balanced? It means we're really magnetic. really, really magnetic. So she is in this Queen of Pentacles energy, clarifying this Ten of Cups. And this is why we're seeing maybe all of her energy is being poured into her feeling this power here, this earthly power. And she is also, I think, realizing that she didn't know that her spiritual fulfillment really was her becoming this Queen of Pentacles rather than her attracting a divine masculine energy. This is just the icing on the cake, right? This is who she became by becoming the most powerful material queen that she could become. This is what this empowering, this balancing of that truly divine feminine energy with the ultimate masculine worth energy results in a Queen of Pentacles, who's the foundation, whose throne is the foundation of the Empress. We started off with that 10 of Wands in reverse, and here we are with this 10 of Swords in reverse. So we have two completion cards. And when the 10 of Swords is in reverse, it's really telling us that there is this ending, right? Which a 10 is a completion and ending. This is painful, and this individual is pinned down by these swords of betrayal in their back. In a reversal, we're seeing that these wounds are being healed because we can pull these swords from these wounds and heal them. And this individual is no longer pinned down by the fears, anxieties, struggles, strife that put them in the situation where they had this painful ending. She's learned to navigate the emotions that were involved in the separation experience that she's had from this thing she's trying to manifest, whether it be a person, individual, whatever. And she's used her Queen of Cups energy to heal from these wounds. And here's the Four of Swords. Now, she's continuing to do this healing. This is a card about faith, just praying for this healing. And it's also about remaining silent. And it's about experiencing silence. And we're seeing the clarification of this coming from the Emperor. So this Queen of Cups is praying for an end to the separation. She's praying for an end to the silence she's experiencing. She would like to hear this communication from the divine masculine energy to finally speak to this power that he has as the Emperor. She can feel him. She can feel his power inside of herself, and now she wants to hear it. And she wants everyone else to hear it loud and clear, that it is her worth energy is such that her attraction, her level of attraction is the energy of the Emperor, meaning a divine masculine iteration. For some, if we're looking at situations of romance or coming together, or that career or that goal or whatever, it's that ultimate thing that you want to take action towards. Now we've got overfeeling in the heart space, and we're already at 18 minutes. So lordy, lordy. Top of the deck, overall feeling of the heart is the Queen of Cups. Now, this Queen of Cups is in reverse. The headspace, navigating emotions well, being very good at just kind of like not being too emotionally reactive, not being emotionally manipulative. The heart space, I think, is feeling overwhelmed. The headspace is like, I can handle it. And maybe having to use that Emperor energy, which remember is very controlling and very rigid. And so there might be some rigidity going on in the headspace, which is like, nope, you're a Queen of Cups. You can handle it. You're going to be fine. To a certain extent, that's okay, right? But it can, if you're suppressing the emotions with that divine masculine energy, if you're keeping the silence, and you're not expressing your emotions, what happens? Well, eventually we have a flood, right? An outpouring, an emotional outburst of some kind. So the Divine Feminine is fearing this a little bit. She's like, I'm keeping it together right now, and I'm doing a fucking great job of it. But this Divine Masculine energy is really stubbornly silent, and I just hope I can keep this shit together. And I'm doing my best, but I feel really overwhelmed, right? And that's her overall feeling of her heart. There's also so much love, so much compassion, maybe too much over nurturing going on. Maybe she's being overbearing. There's those elements can be there in the shadow. The other thing is that on the Field Tarot, which is the one that we're looking at, we just looked at the Fountain Tarot, and now we're looking at the Field Tarot. It says intuition on the bottom of the card. So it could just be also that she's trying to trust her intuition, be in tune with her intuition. Good morning, Lena. She's really working at that. First thing in her heart space, temperance, patience, healing. The twin flame archangel doing this healing, balancing energy on her behalf in regards to her own spiritual fulfillment. So her mind is like, I don't know how to attain this. I don't know exactly where it's going to, when it's going to unfold or what it's going to fully constitute, because I'm not sure. But I'm being patient, and I'm trusting that this balancing, this mixing of joy and sorrow and all of the appropriate concoction of things has been taking place. And all of these contrasting things I've been experiencing, they're going to bring about my spiritual fulfillment. And I think she's also healing and recovering from coming to an understanding that she wasn't necessarily very clear exactly about what this really meant. So she is so patient, though, with this. She's like, this is worth waiting for. It's worth figuring this out. It's not worth settling, because if I'm patient and I allow this healing energy to take place, and I trust in my headspace, my heart, I will experience this Four of Wands, which again, we had the niggling feeling, which is the twin flame card in her head, in the back of her mind, underlying everything. We have the Four of Wands, which is associated with twin flame energy because of the 11-11 aspect of it. And we have Temperance, which is the twin flame healing angel. So there's definitely, for those of us in the collective who resonate with that, with those messages, there's definitely an emphasis here that this Divine Feminine is accepting of and patient about that journey, and trusting that the result is something to really celebrate. It is this sacred union or marriage of the two aspects of self that work together to bring about change in the world, to bring about a healing experience and an expansion. We experience this through, for those of us that are in the twin flame community, you experience that via a specific iteration outside of yourself that you come to know as another part of your soul. You agreed to be split into two halves and to work throughout time on this mission. This is the twin flame saga, I guess. Again, I don't know shit. I'm just saying these are the things that I have picked up and learned as I have been learning about my own journey. So I am not an authority. There is no authority. There's no authority. There's not one single doctrine of, I guess, what is Plato the authority? I mean, that's the first time I heard about this thing in my life. But regardless, who the hell knows? But this Divine Feminine thinks about these things, because we wouldn't see these cards and I wouldn't feel called to talk about it if she didn't. She does. For those of us that don't know what the fuck that is and don't care about it, lucky you. This is also about sacred union in the self. And it doesn't mean that there's a specific iteration outside of yourself. Everybody has those two aspects of soul. There's just some people that made a to do some big dumb mission. But for everyone, this is a patience to await the arrival of this celebration, trusting that it's going to be here, that you're going to have these two parts of self, that Queen of Cups energy, that heart, and the Emperor energy, the head united. And here's the Ace of Pentacles, and this Ace of Pentacles has been coming out in reverse for days now. I just saw it on Grace Rega's account. If you don't follow her on Instagram, please do. She's amazing. I do live readings with her on Sundays. But the Ace of Pentacles haunted us. It was in reverse. It was here on Sunday. It came up again on Monday. It might have come up on Wednesday. And it sure as hell is here today, but it's not in reverse. It's finally upright. And it's clarifying the Emperor. So this is a really good sign because this bitch is feeling she has the power to make this offer. And when you feel like you have the power to make an offer, then Divine Masculine is going to match you. Hello there, Cryptrick. Let me answer you as best as I can here. This is general, but there's a lot of messages in here. If you were drawn here, you're probably going to get some of your questions answered. And if you have personal questions, you can contact me at tunedintarot@gmail.com. It is a pay what you want type of a deal with a suggested donation. All right, here we go. This is awesome. Finally, the offer of the Ace of Pentacles. If she's ready to make it, she's ready to celebrate this offer. She feels, I have finally brought this action part of myself into alignment with this creative spark that comes from this feminine part of myself that now is in alignment with this masculine part of self. And now that sexual energy, which is the law of polarity, where these two things come together, we can now create this offer and I can give something material to the 3D world, right? Here's the Six of Wands. It's in reverse again because Divine Feminine, she doesn't want this to just be about herself. She doesn't want this to just be a solo victory. It's a victory. She's got an offer. Her masculine worth energy is through the roof. She's got a foundation. She believes in herself. She's got a plan. She's in command of multiple things because it's an empire, not just a kingdom. Cool. Cool story, bro. But she's like, I want this to be a shared victory. I don't want this to just be about, hey, I made myself into the Queen of Pentacles, like, hooray. I want to come out of isolation. This is the next card that's coming up. This is the Eight of Swords in reverse. Now, it's interesting because the Field Tarot chooses to put the word isolation on the bottom of the Eight of Swords. And it's not a word that it's not a go-to word for me when I look at the Eight of Swords, but it's absolutely a component of this card because this card is about your mind using your thoughts to create a prison that is protecting you / sabotaging, as we usually view the card. But in my collective, I like to call that protection. Because when we're sabotaging ourselves, it is only because we have some kind of a belief that tells us that to get the thing that we want would be dangerous. Either we could lose it and suffer a deep pain and humiliation. We could be wrong about it. Same thing. We could not achieve it at all. Pain and humiliation, right? All this pain and humiliation could happen. And our brain and our ego work so hard to preserve us. And in our society, fight or flight, it's not about tigers hiding in, I guess it depends on your job. But I don't have any big cats around here that are going to jump out at me and kill me, right? There's not a velociraptor waiting outside for me in the hallway, fucking hopefully. That one, I'm not cute, terrified of that fucking movie. No, dinosaurs. There's not huge predators anymore. So our brain, which is so helpful for helping us survive against huge predators, it's like, wait, we don't have to do that anymore? Well, there must be danger somewhere. Like, I got to look out for it somewhere. Where is it? Well, in our society, it is social danger, right? If we lose if we lose our reputation, we can lose our wealth, we can lose everything. And if you lose everything, then you can die, because you have to be part of society to survive. So for us, the predator is an illusion. There is no real predator. It's completely our own machinations, our own brain. Which is way worse, it turns out. It turns out dealing with 3D energy is a lot easier, because you can be like, okay, there's only a certain number of ways I can kill this thing, right? If it's in your brain, it's just, how are you going to pin that shit down? It's like not going to stand in front of you to shoot it. Like, it's just not going to do that. It takes a lot of work. But that's why she doesn't want that victory to be solo. She doesn't want to protect herself from sharing this with another energy. So she's really wanting to come out of this isolation and share this victory with others. There's a lot of overfeeling going on, because here's the 6th card, the 4 of Cups, which is clarifying the 4 of Swords. So we have 4-4 here. We also have the energy of meditation and contemplation and prayer and pause. Nothing happening. But we have grounding coming from this card. This is an airy card that's all about being in spirit, right? It can also be about grief too, and mourning. But this is a card that's about taking that spiritual and finally grounding it, because in the 4 of Cups, the individual's back is against a tree. But Divine Feminine is feeling that she really needs to kind of meditate and contemplate about this grief, about the silence in regards to this 2 of Cups, which is not happening. So this physical manifestation that she wants to see, this thing that she's trying to experience, it's not happening. So she's thinking about it. And right now she's thinking about her other options and her other choices. If she can't quite achieve this one specific iteration, she's been blocking herself from all these other options that she has in the 7 of Cups. She's got all these other choices. And so she's feeling very strongly that it's most likely time for her to walk away in this 8 of Cups energy. It's so interesting, because Divine Masculine's song was from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, and he was ending the song this way. He was really feeling like the potential for this is very imminent. He says, you can move up a little closer. I will throw a blanket over. We can weigh all the tears in one hand against the laughter in the other. We could be hanging around here for centuries trying to make sense of this, my dear, while the planets try to get organized way above the stratosphere. But they keep bringing out the dead now. It's easy if we just walk away. They keep bringing out the dead now. It's been a long, long day. Look away. Look away. So Divine Feminine is like, is it easier for me to just walk away? Because Divine Feminine's song was, don't waste my time. I don't have time. Right? Which is ironic that that came up on my shuffle, because that's a song my DM introduced me to. Funny that. Okay, Divine Feminine. Wow, that was quite a long reading for you. Let's go over to Divine Masculine side of self and be amazed at the union. All right. Top of the deck, overall, headspace, forefront of the mind for Divine Masculine. The Lovers in reverse. But when I look at the rest of the spread and the niggling feeling, I'm not as frustrated as I usually am when I see the Lovers in reverse for the Divine Masculine. What is he thinking about? Well, he's thinking about not being in union he's thinking about being in separation. So is Divine Feminine. So no shade to Divine Masculine. You know what? I'm just going to wipe my camera because it looks blurry. Oh, here, look at me. I'm so blurry. So we see him. He wants this so much. He wants to go get Divine Feminine, put her ass in the car, and drive off into the sunset with her. But he can't. He can't yet. There's still he's noticing it. And when you notice something, just like you noticing that it's not happening, then you're noticing like, oh, it's still not happening. So it's still not. Oh, it's still not. And even as I'm noticing that it's not happening, it's still not happening though. It's still not happening. It's still not happening. Right? Still not. Nope, not still. Still. Endless amount of noticing. He wants to end the separation as well. And I don't know. I don't know what the holdup for him is. I don't know why the car is stalled. I'm not quite sure, but there's a reason. And maybe maybe he's like, I don't know why the car has stalled either. Wow, I can't believe how dirty my camera was. I'm like crystal clear now. The niggling thing in the back of his mind is the moon. It's in reverse. And so I see him coming out of his dreams and his reverie. And maybe that's the other reason we're seeing this Lovers in reverse. Maybe he's coming out of the fantasy. And he's going like, fuck, this is real shit. This is real. It's not my dream. It's not my fantasy. It's not what I thought. It's not happening the way I thought it was going to happen. It doesn't look like I expected it to. What did I get myself into? Where am I going? Where am I driving? Where are we headed? But to see the moon in reverse, while it is about coming out of the dreams, it's also about releasing those deeply held subconscious limiting beliefs about love and about manifesting love and about relationships, about partners. So he's thinking a lot. He's doing a lot of thinking. And the first thing that he's thinking is, this is unfair, right? Here's justice. We love this card, but it's in reverse today because he's like, this isn't fair. There's something that's here that isn't right, that needs to be made right. Yesterday's song for him was Make It Right. Today's song was like, you know, to hear that message coming from Divine Masculine is rough. It's easy if we just walk away. Facing justice is not fun. When you're a little kid and you have to go to your mom and be like, Mom, you know, you told me not to play with the thing in the living room. I did, and it broke. And your mom is going to be like, well, now you're grounded. Hopefully she's not really spanking you because we moved out of the 50s, but I don't know. Maybe she's still spanking you. Look out. But you have to go admit that you did something wrong. You have to, there's no getting out of it. You can't hide it anymore. The crystal glass is broken. It's shattered and super glue is not going to fix it. So there's no hiding it. You could run away. You could like go upstairs and pack your backpack and grab a wagon and throw some Little Debbie snacks in it and head for the hills. But that's pretty much your only option. Pretty much you're just going to have to go stand in front of your mom and be like, I fucked up. And he's not looking forward to doing that or having to deal with it. And he also feels like it's unfair, that he's been put in an unfair predicament or situation. But that car that we already saw, the Lovers, that car that was stalled out, it's not moving because he keeps thinking about it. There it is. It's not quite so shiny. it's not quite so exciting. It's more of a family wagon, right? It's a little bit less ego. This is hot stuff. This is like coming out of the dreams, right? It's not going to be this red hot rod. It's going to be more of like a family wagon. But the thing is, the motion is there. It's moving. It's stable also. There's two aspects of self and they're moving together and they are a team. And this fast moving motion, it's taking him toward his Queen of Cups. And if there's any doubt in our mind that that's divine feminine, well, that could be erased by the fact that she is herself perceived as the Queen of Cups in her head and her heart. Divine masculine is seeing her in her at her best. If we looked at all the queens in this deck, this queen is for sure the friendliest. She's the most welcoming. I think I said yesterday when she came up that she was like ready to pour you a stiff drink. And you know, after you sat down, after your hard day, working all day, she's there for you. She's really loving. There's not emotional manipulation here. There is not an overbearing energy or an overprotective or over-nurturing. She's really in her light. And that's where he feels this chariot is headed, towards this really loving, caring energy. And this Three of Wands is in reverse because he's impatient. He's very impatient. And also, this Justice, it's overdue. This is a card that's like long overdue. You have all the pieces in place. You have all the tools you need to clean up your mess. But you didn't do it yet. His head is saying, bitch, get it done. This is long overdue. So this Chariot, he's excited about it. He's excited about this momentum. He's excited about turning this car around and getting it to just go forward. And he doesn't care if it's a wagon instead of a hot red car. He's like, I don't care. I just want to go. I'm so excited. He's using his imagination. He's being creative. He's taking advantage of this feeling of momentum and motion coming from the Chariot, which is about him controlling his ego, right? So he's just got this youthful excitement to head towards this Queen of Cups. And the overthinking that we're seeing is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse and the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which is so interesting because it's like everything he was working on, everything he was nurturing and bringing to its fulfillment. This is also about impatience. We have two cards about impatience. But everything that he was working on, right, that he nurtured and he planted the seeds and he nurtured it. And here we're seeing Divine Feminine is actually the one who planted the seeds. She planted the seeds and she, in her Queen of Cups energy, lovingly nurtured them, right? He took those seeds that she planted and he created this Eight of Pentacles. He put it into his career. He put it into this masculine worth energy. He put it into creating something really quite significant for her. And he's really thinking about how patient Divine Feminine has been. And that if he doesn't take advantage of this energy and just head towards her, she's not going to wait for him. She's going to go full speed ahead in her own work, in her own projects, and take off without him. And he wants to be a part of this and collaborate with her. 44 on the timer. So that is the headspace, the heart space. I told you, we started the reading off with union, and there it is. Divine Feminine, her masculine headspace energy, overall, 10 of Wands in reverse. Divine Masculine, his feminine heart space energy overall, 10 of Wands upright. So definitely the same individual here with the same push and pull inside of themselves. Divine Feminine is like, Divine Masculine is not talking, not putting down his burden, not sharing the load, not communicating, and she is not able to share her load either or communicate, and so she's chafing at that. And divine masculine is feeling ready to put down this load and to communicate and to end the silence. Niggling thing in the back of the niggling feeling is the Queen of Wands, which Divine Feminine didn't show up as the Queen of Wands today, but for Divine Masculine, of course he sees Divine Feminine energy this way because this is incredibly attractive. She's very attractive. He feels so much passion. He feels he's holding this vision of her. And the Queen of Wands is also an excellent communicator. So he's trying to integrate all of the skills that Divine Feminine has, like channel her energy to be able to fully communicate. Also, the feminine energy here, it could be possible that his Venus energy has a Leo energy, like a confidence and like an ability to really shine, and he wants to like really perform. So like it's like in his heart, he wants to be like an incredible lover. Like in his head, he feels like I'm not a good lover right now. Like I'm not bringing it. Like what I'm bringing to Divine Feminine isn't fair. It's not balanced. It doesn't match her dreams or fantasies of me. It doesn't match my dreams or fantasies of who I want to be. So he wants to take that fiery energy of that queen and use it to attract her, right? She's embodying the Emperor energy. He's wanting to embody that Queen of Wands energy. Oh, wow. Okay. The first card up, clarifying this Justice card in reverse, is the Ace of Cups. So, okay, what's really interesting, I think these cards I think I flipped them. The writing was like this. So I'm going to have to read shifty energy on these cards. Okay. So Divine Masculine has an awareness that what has been unfair about this relationship, what has been imbalanced, is that his cup hasn't been shared. He hasn't been offering Divine Feminine this cup. There's been, for some time it was he didn't have the cup filled, but now he does have the cup filled, and that's why I'm getting the shifty energy. It's like it's here, but he's not offering it. He wants to pour it out, but he's not. And it's just this fear that I just said when we talked about this card, which is like, you got to go in front of her and you got to be like, you can't hide it. It's obvious. It's clear what went wrong. And you just have to stand in front of her like a man, even if you feel like a boy. And you're going to feel like a boy in that moment. And you have to offer her the cup and you have to be like, I'm sorry that I broke this. I know that you told me that if I played with it, I would break it. And I did. And I'm sorry. And what can I do to make it up to you? And can you forgive me? He's not looking forward to that, but that's what's got to happen. And this Chariot, this is what's interesting, because since I flipped all the cards over, this was in reverse. So this is breaking silence. But now we're back into this upright position, and so is Divine Feminine. So we've got that union here with this Four of Swords. So I think for Divine Masculine, what we're seeing then is just like with that cup shifting in and out of its energy, we're seeing this Four of Swords do that as well. He wants to break the silence, and he's dealing with the grief that he feels from the injustice that has been done. He's also afraid of divine feminine's grief. And it's like he's hurtling towards this breaking of the silence. But he's afraid of it, and he's experiencing grief about the past that he's still trying to heal. Again, it's so interesting. 5 of Wands, now it's in reverse, which means he feels unblocked in regards to this Queen of Cups. But moments ago, it was upright with a feeling of being blocked or struggling against divine feminine. But what I think I'm seeing is his full awareness that if he refuses the cup, if he remains silent, he will continue to be blocked in regards to being able to attract his Queen of Cups. So he must offer the cup and break the silence to unblock. The moon, which we already saw today in his headspace, it was in reverse. But remember, so was this for a minute. Now it's upright. Why? It's clarifying its time. It's clarifying the 3 of Wands. It's clarifying the impatience. And it's showing me that divine masculine is aware that he must come out of his dreams, that it's time to come out of his dreams, time to offer the cup, break the silence, unblock, release the limiting beliefs that he has in regards to the next card that we're going to see. But there are some mysteries and some secrets and some surprises and some hidden elements here that he wants to be able to, he wants to still be able to honor, because he wants to be able to like surprise divine feminine too. So there's some things he wants to keep hidden. There are also some things that are still mysterious and hidden from himself. And so he's still needing to do this healing work, to do the shadow work in regards to the impatience and issues of control, stuff like this. But ultimately, it's, I want to come out of my dreams. This Page of Wands, it's clarified by this 3 of Swords. Again, it is in reverse now, which means that we're looking at the wounds that have been inflicted being healed. And if it was upright, we would be looking at him having to still face these very hard truths about himself as he comes out of this, these limiting beliefs, facing the truths about how his immaturity caused these wounds, about how he played with divine feminine's heart. There's elements of that in this card as well, right? But ultimately, healing these wounds, this 7 and 8 of Pentacles, here it is, the 3 of Cups, upright. So here we go. We have the celebration, the reunion. It's lovely. In reverse, paired with the 3 of Cups, it's third-party energy blocking divine feminine. But it's gone now. It's gone. Because when I picked up these cards and set them down, for some reason when I picked them up again, all of these cards were reversed. So it showed us what was happening. Divine masculine knows what was happening, and he's correcting it right now in this moment. As it's almost like he like tuned into the energy of the divine feminine and changed his mind to tune into his heart so that he could have what he wants instead of being afraid he can't, which is really cool. Okay, let's look at divine feminine. Divine feminine, you have slipped into the shadow attributes of the seeker. So you have an inability to commit to the path once found. I hate to tell you, babes, but you found the path. You're looking at it. There it is, the 2 of Wands. For some of you, that means twin flame journey. For others, that just means you've asked for something and it's going to be given to you, but you're having a hard time believing it and just committing to that path. You need to come into the light. You need to commit. Commit to this path, dear one. And understand that you must seek wisdom and truth wherever they are, not just where you would like them to be, but wherever they are. Heaven is watching over you. This is this very protective, nurturing, loving, caring energy. You're getting this animals card today in reverse. It's my big husky. So animals cards for me are always about unconditional love, companionship, the loyalty, the energy that comes from the experience of being with a companion animal. It's very calming. It's very peaceful. It can take feelings of stress and anxiety and immediately relieve them. So there's a call here to, if you have companion animals, to be with them. For those of us that are longing for them, really actively call in your companion animal. There seems to be like energy right now in the collective where this will be very effective. I don't know what is going on outside, but it's so loud and annoying and distracting me. I apologize. So, but this is also about companionship in terms of relationships. If you're here for a love reading, it's about remaining loyal to yourself. And if those of us are committed to the twin flame journey, are remaining loyal to yourself, you got to do that math. I don't want to hear that message, but you got to do the math. Meditate and contemplate, which already came up today in your Four of Cups card and really your Four of Swords energy. So what's really interesting, though, is it's in reverse. And so you've been in this meditation and contemplation phase about not being sure about which options because you haven't seen a physical manifestation yet, and you just got told that you need to commit to the path. This doesn't look like committing to a path to me. You know what this looks like? This looks like not believing that the path is possible or trusting in it, and then freaking out and then thinking, oh, I got other options, and then deciding to walk away because you're freaked out that it's not going to happen. And just remember what Divine Masculine told you today, because I don't think you want to hear it from him, right? It's easy if we just walk away. He's saying that to you. He's saying, babe, it's easy if we just walk away. Like, there's endings here, there's pain, there's death, right? We could be here for centuries trying to make sense of this. They keep bringing out the dead. We keep experiencing this pain, and it would be easier to walk away, to look away. No. Commit to your path. Do you want this or not? Do you want to think of the other backup plans you have? Think about this in terms of the career. You know, right now, for me, if this was career-based for me, I'm looking at this in a relationship way for the most part. But if it were applied to my career, it would look like this. It would be like, I just wrote down everything last night that I need to do to complete my record. I am a smart individual, and I know what it's going to take just creatively to do that. Could I do that by June 22nd, which is the date that I would have to have it complete in order to have it, like, that is mixed, mastered, everything, in order to have it distributed by July 22nd. Could I do that? If I had an unlimited budget and people who didn't have other jobs that could just work for me for the next month, yes, I could do that. Can I do that without an unlimited budget? I don't know. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid I cannot, like, do what I wanted to do. My vision of what I wanted was that I would have this record done before I turned 40, just symbolically, just like what I accomplished. It doesn't really matter. I don't care about my age. I'm going to make music until I'm 100, so it doesn't fucking matter how fucking old I am. But it was just this arbitrary thing. I decided, like, oh, it would be the symbolic thing. And so, like, I really want it by this time. And so for me, what this would look like is it doesn't quite look like I can get it done on time. So maybe I'll just release the single on July 2nd and like walk away from trying to get it done on time. Or maybe it's even more intense. Maybe it's like, what was I thinking? I'm trying to do this. Look at this. Look at what this is going to take. Like at a minimum. This is all the stuff I have to do for the music alone. I have to check off every single one of these boxes, all 3 of these things, and that's just the record. And then there's all of this stuff, which is like the PR, the marketing, the social media, the photo shoots, the trying to get on playlists, talking to people about getting it and somehow synced into a film and on time to be considered for Grammys or whatever to try to get a Grammy of some kind. Good luck. You know what? Maybe that's too hard. I'm a really good teacher and I'm a really good tarot reader. Really, really good. Maybe I should walk away from this record completely and focus on one of those other good options. You know how much money I make teaching? I make a fuck ton of money teaching. I can make 10 hours a week and live real well if I want to, probably. I just have to put more effort into finding students. But what happens if I put more effort into the backup plan? I walk away from what I really want. So Divine Feminine, you've got to ground yourself and commit to this path instead of fearing you can't have what you want and feeling this urge to just walk away. What's funny is you accuse Divine Masculine of that all the fucking time. You're like, he has commitment issues. He can't commit to me. Bitch, it looks like you're the same though. You and your loved ones are safe. You also got that one coming out with the Heaven is watching over you, which is a very protective card. So if you're having some fears right now about being your safety or financial safety or anything like that, your responsibilities, your burdens, or even just this thing coming to pass, you're just getting this reassurance right now that in terms of your home and your family, you and your loved ones are absolutely safe. A new start is coming. Can you trust it? And not walk away? Every time you do this, every time you doubt it, every time Divine tells you, hey, it's coming. You're like, okay, it's coming. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, hey, I thought he said it was coming. Because for you, that means right now, right? And it's not there yet. And so then you're like, oh, maybe it's not going to come when I think. So maybe I should just focus on some of these other things, because like, what if I put all of my money and time into this and then like nothing happens and you panic, right? And then you cycle back through this all over again. If you can just trust that a new start is coming and keep doing what you're doing, just keep doing it, trusting that what is coming. Coming. And then Jesus, you're getting the Get Grounded card, which is literally like the 4 of Cups again. So it's like you got the 4 of Cups in reverse from Moonology and Get Grounded. This is empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature, but it was in reverse. So it's like, babes, you've been in the spiritual thing for a minute. You've been meditating. You've been contemplating. You're thinking too much. You're thinking too much. Meditation is not about thinking. Contemplation is about reflection upon the things that occurred to you during meditation. It is not about overthinking. So make sure you know exactly what meditation and contemplation constitutes. Meditation is trying to sit quietly as the mind construes without tuning in to the mind's construing. At the end of which, once you get quiet, you start to have these inspirations that come up that aren't fear-based, that aren't about all of the things you think every day. They come from divine. Then after you reflect upon it in a state of contemplation, right? That is not thinking and thinking and thinking about all the stuff that could go wrong and trying to figure it out. That's not contemplation. I love you, but no. So you want to come out of this place where you've been overthinking, but you want to get grounded into reality now and take what is very ethereal and spiritual and make it real and practical. You're getting the protection message again from White Raven Spirit, which is trust in the magic. And it is card 66. Let's see. Okay. Yes. Are you being distracted by the illusion of a chaotic universe? Deep in your heart, you know the world is full of magic, and White Raven has appeared to remind you that the ways of the world can cause spiritual amnesia. Remember, evidence of divine order is everywhere. Synchronicities will happen. White Raven's here to reassure you that all of this is leading to something better for magics in the world. Okay. We just talked about not trusting. We just talked about giving up, walking away because you lose faith that it's going to happen, and so you have that difficulty committing to the spiritual path. You're distracted by this illusion that things aren't going as they're supposed to, but they are. They are. So just trust in the magic. Don't trust in a third, in a specific iteration of a person. Don't trust in me. Trust your intuition. Trust in your heart. Trust in the magic that you've asked for something and it's being given. Divine Masculine, you need a little help today. Got a lot of guardians. Right now, you're in the light attributes of the Advocate, which is inspiring you to put compassion into action. So we are seeing you ready to put compassion into action. You are truly wanting to be an advocate for this union, and you can sense that Divine Feminine is really at her, she's been handling all of this on her own. You feel a lot of compassion for her, and you want to advocate for her instead of just embracing this cause for personal gain. You want to do this for Divine Feminine, not just for yourself. And then here are your guardians. Optimism, higher education, bravery, and faith. Okay? Your guardian angel is here to help you with optimism because you have a very hard time with it. There is an emphasis here. You really need to stay in the light. Remember, being pessimistic is really not helpful. It is true that there are those of us who have a tendency towards pessimism. Personality-wise, character-wise, astrologically. Fine. I don't give a shit. That's your tendency. Fine. Overcome it. Okay? I have a tendency to be an egotistical asshole. I try to overcome it. Am I successful? Remains to be seen. But I try. So you need to try to be optimistic. You need to really, 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 really think about when you have thoughts that make you feel negative, make you feel that tugging away from alignment. It's your job to reach for a better feeling thought. So when you're like, this isn't going to work out, you need to be like, it's true. A lot of things haven't worked out for me, but some things have, and this could. Is that hard to do? No, it isn't. It's not. And if you're not doing it, it's your own damn fault, because it really is. It takes work. If you're coming here and listening to me talk and you don't do anything I fucking say, welcome to the club. I do that too. But then don't blame the outside circumstances for your situation, because that's just wasting time. Just be like, it's okay. I wasn't ready. You don't have to be mean to yourself. You don't have to be like, well, I'm a fucking idiot. I never fucking do anything that Spirit tells me to do. Okay, well, great. Congratulations. Join the party. You're a human. Welcome. We're all smelly and, weird. Like, it's fine. But instead of being like, why isn't this happening from the outside of myself? You need to be like, okay, I must be thinking it's not going to happen, or I'm afraid of it somehow. That's okay. I don't really feel like going into it at the moment because I'm busy. So all I'm going to do is just be like, detach this part of yourself. There's a system of therapy called internal family systems, where you take all the fractured aspects of self and you communicate with them and you utilize their skills. It's really great. It's like integrating shadow. It's very helpful. So this negative part of yourself, first of all, you're getting support from your guardian angel, so you're absolutely going to be able to do this. But I'm telling you how to do it if you struggle with it. Inside of yourself, you've got negative Nancy, okay? We're going to call her negative Nancy. You can name her whatever you want, but that's what I'm calling her right now. Negative Nancy, she is not a bitch. She is, not like trying to be a killjoy. Negative Nancy is concerned. She's very afraid. She wants to protect you. She doesn't want you to get wounded or hurt. She doesn't want your feelings to be hurt by anybody. She doesn't want your expectations to be disappointed. So she's got to keep you in check. She's like, if he gets too excited, right? If he gets too excited, he could break his heart. Like, we got to keep this in check. We need to keep this in check. Okay? So let's be real. Let's be real. Every other time that you've tried to do that, that hasn't worked out. So I know that you're excited about it, but like, let's be real though, because do you really want to get fucking hurt again? Okay, negative Nancy. Is that helping me? No. So you just need to be like, look, I know that you're just trying to look out for me and keep me from getting hurt. It's okay. And you're right. This shit has gone sour a lot of times. And based on that evidence, I could see how you could make that case. But there's always exceptions. So, thanks for helping me out. But like, it's also possible things could go okay. Is there something else you could do? Could you write me like some cool cynical jokes or something? Like maybe be really sarcastic? And negative Nancy's going to be like, fuck yeah. Okay? Give negative Nancy a job she can do. Can she help you manifest this? Bitch, if she's being funny, if that bitch isn't being funny, put her to bed. I don't know, knock her out. So that's your optimism thing. You got to get that under control. The next part, this is, you are learning this lesson, and this is the lesson you still have to learn, the one I just taught you. Lucky you, you've got me. So now you know what to do, and you're going to be successful. If you can just allow this guardian angel to support you in your bravery and your courage, and keep this faith that you're going to be able to have what it is that you desire, negative Nancy's going to be wrong. The Holy Spirit hasn't left you. This card is the only spellcasting card you got today, and it just says peace. And the Holy Spirit was here yesterday. There was a big long speech about it. And then this card showed up again. And so it's just reminding you that that spark, that thing inside of you, that burning desire, that's the Holy Spirit. And that desire is for peace. And peace comes from alignment. You are absolutely good enough. Got this yesterday. Take the time to breathe out that negativity, the last dregs of that doubt that's inside of you. Breathe it out. Take that time and do that work. Do what I just said. Name that part of yourself that is doubting, that is worried, that is protecting you. Thank them for doing a really good job. How good are they at protecting you from what you want? Oh my God. We need to do an awards show for these parts of ourselves and give them these awards. You're the fucking best at this. Here is your golden trophy. You're so good at it. Thank you so much. Now step off to the side and, figure out a way to use your amazing talents to help me. Surrender to the divine. You're doing it. Your chariot is upright. So continue to do this. Let the divine show you exactly what to do. Boundaries. You're still allowing outside forces to have a say, an influence, a hand in the jar. Get it out. Put up those boundaries. You're not good at this. You are empathic, and as you were probably a child in an abusive household, most likely, and there were no boundaries. And there must be boundaries. There must be. This is not appropriate. This is not okay. You get to decide who to hand things to. They don't reach in and grab and take. They don't get to say or do or think or care. Make those boundaries clear. Do that for yourself and do that for the ones that you love. Let spirit be your guide. Hawk spirit is here. I just saw a hawk today because it's Hugo Nicholson's birthday. And I saw that it was his birthday on my calendar. And then I looked at his page and there was a hawk. It was one of his pictures. Also, happy birthday, Hugo Nicholson. The oracle message today is flying high above the landscape. The hawk sees both the big picture and the small details, observes the rain in the pond as well as the cloud, and doesn't miss anything. When hawk spirit arrives, you're called to pay close attention to messages from spirit that can appear anywhere in any form. Listen to your intuition and keep your eyes open for synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences. Hawk spirit asks you not to dismiss the signs that spirit is sending to guide you. Lately, have you been hearing the same word or song or coming across the same symbol here, there, and in the strangest places? Perhaps you hear a song on the radio with just the right lyric pertaining to your query, or you begin to notice uncanny billboards, license plates, or other places where repetitive numbers or words show up for you to notice. Pay attention to the animals that appear for you and connect with their symbolism. Spirit wants to communicate and reaches out again and again. When hawk spirit appears, it is a sign to listen. Okay, cool. Pay attention to the signs. Listen. Follow them. Follow your intuition. What sign did we just talk about you getting multiple times? Peace, bro. Peace. All right, let's look at the overall union. So these are the things you are currently in alignment in. You are in the light attributes of the Avenger, which is a desire to balance the scales of justice and a righteousness on behalf of oneself and one society. So you are both wanting to balance the scales between one another. You also want to avenge this union. It's like there are those that tried to keep this from happening, and you're like, no, we shall avenge it. And there's a unity here in that. There are also maybe travel, because there's this world map here. So there's this messages about travel coming up, and then you got this yesterday and you're getting it again. Wow, pray. And it's 2 or more gathered in my name at the same time, I am with them. So this is something that you should do together, and you should make a point of doing it together. If there is a way that you can both be doing the same thing at the same time, be open to the potential, the possibility for that to happen today, so that when you notice one another in that moment, you can pray for the closure that you are seeking. Closure for the two of you is finally coming together. Closure is the 10 of Wands. Like total completion, dropping the burden of this unknown. I think the thing that drives me the most insane in my current situation is there is no doubt I am really wanting to commit to this path, this twin flame path, and just be like, all right, I'm in it to win it, and I'm just going to stick it out. It is the unknown element, the sense that there isn't closure, that if I make the wrong decision, I'm hanging here in outer space while this never happens and I never experience closure. There's fear there about that. And it's very uncomfortable. It's the most uncomfortable part about my journey is being like, okay, I'm willing to make this choice. And I am making this choice, but I'm not doing it without the fear that I'm not going to get closure because of the choice I made. So the divine is telling you both. There is closure here. Closure is something you give yourself, right? And in this context, you are both getting it, which means you must give yourselves closure. And what will that look like? In this case, it will look like physical alignment. Look at the bigger picture. Coming out with Hawk Spirit, that's very important to me. There is a fixation on the details of the when and the where and the how. We saw that. Those are the details. The details are not your job. It's funny because this Hawk Spirit is like, pay attention to the details. But The details of how and when and where, that's not your job. Your job is to accept inspiration and follow through with inspiration. It's not to know exactly how things are going to unfold. That's the part that is not quite in alignment, is that you expect to know what day it's going to be, to know what time, to know how. And that's not your knowledge to know. So look at the bigger picture, which is ultimately that you have asked and it is given. You are doing all the things that you need to do to go in this direction, and you are listening for this divine inspiration. What are they running outside? I have to leave. I cannot wait. And I know that I am moving on June 1st to a new location, but it's still going to be in the city. So I'm not holding out much hope that I'm not going to be hearing this kind of shit all the time, but it won't be, at least in the echo chamber of skyscrapers that I'm in. Okay. You are already doing it. Stop overthinking. Y'all are overthinking. You both have issues with overthinking, with overfeeling. You need to just keep facing your true north, which is just following your heart's desire. You are already doing it, and stop questioning it so much. Just surrender to the divine and let the divine show you. And then starfish spirit. Open to infinite possibility. Now, this isn't one that we get a lot, so always interesting. Stretched out on the beach, the starfish opens fully to the rays of the sun, to the power of potential. As you look out toward the horizon, do you open up to infinite possibility? Spirit is the source of opportunities beyond your wildest imagination and ensures endless possibilities are available. At this time, starfish spirit urges you to stretch past the limits of your everyday perception and comfort zone to dream of bigger things and imagine with even greater hope and faith, for miraculous potential is shining down on you. Feel it, bask in it, and open yourself to be filled with inspiration. This is a very fortunate sign that starfish spirit has come to remind you of your infinite potential. So just remain open. Trust that you're already doing it. Face that true north. All right, let's close out the reading with the some cards from Island Time Wellness Oracle cards and a couple little clarifiers of that energy. Perfect, thank you. To tell us what we just need to do just today. What do we need to do today? All right, Divine Feminine. You are getting camera, reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past and make memories. And you're getting the 7 of Cups again, which you already got. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to today learn from the past in regards to your tendency to always keep your options open, even though you tell yourself you are not. You're like, I can't be with anyone else. I can't do any other job. I don't want to do anything. But it's not true. You are afraid you can't have that thing. So while you are wanting to be committed to this path that you have, your spiritual path, you tend to do the same thing each time. So learn from the past. In the past, when you reach a hurdle, you immediately start looking at other options. Fix that. You better work. Divine Masculine. You're getting sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, and focusing out. And you're getting the 9 of Pentacles, which is definitely about Divine Feminine, single, fabulous energy for me. So, Divine Masculine, you have been watching, stalking, gaslighting. Divine Feminine, you have fears about her energy. She's single. She's fabulous. You have fears because Divine Feminine does too. Since you do not communicate with her, and since you have not come into a physical union with her, she focuses on the past experience she's had with you, the pain she's endured, and she looks at other options. You're both observing each other. You're both, I'm seeing like social media, like that's Instagram to me too. It's like things that are happening in social media, watching, observing, not speaking, not talking, not communicating, just looking, and misunderstanding too. So divine masculine, you sense this happens for divine feminine. She thinks about how you treated her in the past. She's considering other options and she wants to walk away. And your fear is, it's so easy for us to walk away. So what are you supposed to do then? Well, if divine feminine is supposed to learn from the past and stop doing that, stop keeping her options open and just commit to this path with you and just not be afraid that it won't work out the way that she would like it to work out, then you need to stop looking, stalking, and gaslighting her and focusing out on her outward situation. Instead, you want to communicate. But this is also about self-care too. So you want to be taking care of yourself. Worry about yourself. Your constant gaslighting is what causes divine feminine to keep options open. And you're afraid that she's going to leave you. You better work. Fix for both of you is mirroring each other, self-image, relationships, and introspection. So if you were feeling salty, let me tell you, you're mirroring each other. You are both focused on separation because this is the 10 of Swords. You are both focused on how you are not together. Divine feminine, you are like, we're not together, so I should look at other options. Divine masculine, you were like, I'm not with her, so she's going to look at other options. Stop. Today. Work on it. Work on it. That's the 8 of Pentacles. Work on it. And look at what's on the bottom of the Island Time Wellness deck that I just fucking pulled. Hammer. Working on it. Do not leave this reading today and come back here tomorrow without your homework done. I'm going to be a bitchy teacher today. If you come back here tomorrow without your homework done, I'm giving you a big fat 0. Because y'all need to do that work. Stop focusing on the separation. Stop keeping your options open. And stop gaslighting divine feminine. All right. Is that enough of a spank for you? From the divine? Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like, subscribe, share, click notifications. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see when I'm going live also, because I usually post either a time-lapse of the shuffle with the songs, or today I just felt like shuffling live. I'm going to make it a new thing. If I shuffle live and you catch me live and I see you there and you stick it out, I'll pull a card for you at the end of the shuffle just for fun. So keep your eyes peeled for that so you can get a personal 1-card reading for free some morning if you're lucky enough to catch me live. I get up early, so you better get up early. All right. Tomorrow is Friday. I shall be here bright and early with the reading for you per usual, as I will on Saturday as well. Sunday, it's going to be 12 p.m. on Instagram only with Grace Straka. If you don't follow her, please go do so. She's amazing. She also reads every single day. Jesus Christ, I'm going to sign off now so you don't have to listen to that fucking garbage trucks anymore. Have a glorious day. I shall see you tomorrow. Take care.